Thank you for joining with Azure with Umesh YouTube channel. So today I'm going to discuss about how to create a Azure SQL virtual machine from a plain Windows Server virtual machine. So basically, you may think normally when we are creating Azure SQL VM inside the Azure portal, so it will automatically create the SQL Server instance as well at the same time. Okay, this may be sometimes correct, sometimes not. So let's discuss in which scenarios that we need to re-register this particular SQL instance, SQL Server on Azure VM. So we can discuss about that first. So basically, these are the some of the use cases that you need. This is not all the use cases. These are some of the use cases that you need to re-register SQL instance in the Azure virtual machine. Okay, for an example, sometimes there's no specific SQL image, first party image available inside the marketplace. So I will show you what I'm talking about. So first let me navigate to marketplace. When you search the SQL Server image from the marketplace, you can see these are the Microsoft provided images. There's a multiple versions. There may be sometimes you need to mix and match version, sometimes 2019 version on top of 2012 22, such scenarios that you need to do. For an example, let's say you need to install SQL Server Express edition, so you can get that particular image from here. Let me show you. So sometimes you can see the SQL Server free version, which is the Express edition that you can see here. Free SQL Server license, SQL Server 2017 Express one, on top of the Windows Server 2016 operating system. So let's say you need 2022, the newest version with the SQL Windows Server 2022. So you don't have any choice here. See, so you don't have Express edition here. This is only you have free SQL Server license, SQL Server 2022 developer edition. So this is the one of the use case that you don't have any choice. Of course you have multiple third-party images, but we can't recommend that particular images to install in the Azure, right? This is one of the use case that you need to re-register SQL instance. This is the first one. Let's say this is a lift and shift scenario. Let's say you migrate particular virtual machine from on-premises environment to Azure. So in that scenario, you are not getting SQL instance right away. For such scenarios, you need to re-register to get the benefit out of the SQL Server. So the third one, any images, any particular images that you are using to build the server. Let's say you have multiple images that you managing in the compute gallery. So in that scenarios, you need to re-register the SQL Server instance or the VM that you created out of the images. Similar scenario in the VHD as well. If you use any VHDs, you snapshot to create your particular VM. So in that scenario also, you don't have SQL instance, so you need to re-register. Okay, the cross-region recreation. So that also similar. Let's say you're cloning particular VM from a backup or any snapshot. So in that scenario also you need to re-register SQL VM from the plain Windows Server. The final one, ASR failover. Let's say you have Azure Site Recovery solution inside your Azure portal. So you will fail over the particular SQL server on top of Azure SQL Server VM. So in that scenario, your SQL instance not it will be not migrated. It will be not automatically created from the failover site. For that scenario also, you need to recreate this SQL server. There are multiple other use cases as well. These are some of the high level use cases that you need such this requirement actually. So let's focus on. So let's say why we need actually this SQL instance. So once you create this register this SQL instance, so you have multiple benefits. You can see you can leverage Azure backup, so you can manage it, you can view the dashboard information, you can change the licensing information. Those are the hybrid. If you want to enable the hybrid benefit out of the SQL license, those are available under this SQL instance. These are some of the high level benefit that you can get out of the this SQL Server instance. So I will drop this link down in the description of this video, so you can check what are the benefit that mentioned inside this documentation as well. Okay, to demonstrate it, how we can re-register this particular, let's say we have plain for today for the demo, I have plain Windows Server. It doesn't have anything, just plain fresh Windows Server. So what I'm going to do is, so I need, let's say for example, I need SQL Server 2022 Express edition on top of Windows Server 2022. So I don't have any options here, right? So what I'm going to do is, I created a Windows Server inside the Azure portal with Windows Server 2022. So what I'm going to do is, I will install the SQL Server Express edition 2022 from that particular VM. Then we will register the particular VM to SQL instance. So that is the scenario that I'm going to do today. Okay, first of all, let me show you the environment that I have already created. There's not such complicated environment, just the plain VM called SQL Express 2K 2022 virtual machine. So this is the virtual machine. It doesn't have any SQL install. It is just a Windows Server 2022 Datacenter edition. Okay, this is the virtual machine. Let me first install the SQL Server Express edition. Just download it. Express 2022. Okay, so first I will download the particular SQL instance, then I will install it inside this VM. So I will fast forward these steps. This is not the actual focus for this today's video, so I just fast forward this process to complete this step. Okay, I will come back. Okay, SQL Server installation is completed, Express edition. So let's check the service from the services. SQL. Okay, here you can see the SQL Express edition is successfully installed and actively running. Okay, now the installation is completed, so we can continue the SQL instance registration process. So first of all, there are prerequisites for that before installation. So one of the prerequisites is to you need to register the resource provider under your subscription. To do that, you need to go to the particular subscription that your virtual machine is relies on. So under the subscription resource providers, in this tab, resource providers tab, you need to search the name Microsoft SQL virtual machine, Microsoft SQL. Okay, this one. For mine it's already registered. So if your subscription is a new one, or maybe this resource provider is not installed, you may need to install this resource provider prior to this registration. This is one of the prerequisites. So let's continue the registration process. Actually, this is not only for the plain fresh virtual machines. As I mentioned earlier, these are multiple use cases that I mentioned earlier. In such scenarios, you can register your SQL instance from your portal. So let's start. To do that, I will run this Cloud Shell from the Azure portal. So I'm not using bash, I will use the PowerShell. Okay, first it will connect into the terminal now. Okay, so under my tenant I have multiple subscriptions. For first of all, I need to set the subscription first. To do that, I will run this command set subscription. Okay, set AC context subscription. So I need to put my subscription ID here. Let me copy it and pasting it here. So then I will run the particular PowerShell script here. So first I will gather the virtual machine script, virtual machine information under parameter. So to do that, I will run this one $VM. So it will be equal to this get AC VM, then name tag. Then I need to put my virtual machine name here. Then the resource group name, I copy this value, then pasted it here and just enter. Then the command to do that, it call new AC Azure SQL VM, then name. I will pass the VM parameter value here, name, then the resource group name, then I pass in the parameter value VM resource group name. Then the location information, again $VM dot location, then the licensing type, it's called pay as you go, PG. That's it. Just enter now. So the command that we run, new AC SQL VM, and we'll pass the particular VM name and the resource group, location, and the licensing type, pay as you go model. So there are some multiple licensing model like pay as you go model, or you can use the Azure hybrid benefit. So it is available under the Azure SQL instance. Once it is installed, you can check the licensing information from the blade available for this licensing part. So this will take a couple of seconds up to a minute. Okay, the command ran successfully. So if you get any errors, for an example, let's say if your resource provider MySQL SQL virtual machine is not installed, you will be pop up with the error that's saying you need to install before run this command. So likewise, if you ran the command correctly with the correct prerequisites, so you will be getting a similar result like this. So let's check particular SQL instance server, it's they are or not. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, now you can see the SQL virtual machine is successfully registered for the particular VM. This is the SQL instance that we just registered. As you can see, it's automatically get the version information, SQL Server 2022, and the edition. Those all get it from the SQL Server that we already installed. Okay, this is the our virtual machine operating system information. Okay, now you can see the other informations are available here. Let's say you need to set up the backup for database level. You will be able to handle this under this tab, and the updates, all the information, Defender if you want to enable the Azure SQL database level Defender for cloud, so that can be also enabled from here. Those are the some of the main key benefit from this SQL virtual machine instance: backup and the storage information. And here you can see the SQL license that I have mentioned earlier. These are the available licensing type: pay as you go, Azure hybrid benefit, which is you will be, let's say you have licensing on-premises license for the SQL server with not for the actually Express edition, because it is already free version. Let's say a standard enterprise edition if you are using. So in that case you can bring your own license to the Azure. If you have SQL Server license with active software assurance, you can bring your own license to here. So then you can enable this Azure hybrid benefit. So the SQL licensing cost will be 0 once we enable this AHB, and other type is HJDR. These are the licensing types available. Let's say you are going to migrate or you need to change the particular license type. You can do that from here as well. That also one of the benefit. Okay, that's all for today. So if you have any questions related to this Azure SQL instance, how the script is run, what are the prerequisites, what are the benefits, any question related to this, please drop a comment down below. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.